The purpose of this video, which features local employers, is to help you make the most of your internship. This 12-minute video will cover the necessary skills for an internship, how to make a great first impression, common mistakes made by interns, personal technology use in the workplace, and overall advice for having a meaningful experience. To begin, let's learn what skills employers believe are necessary for internship success.
Skills to bring to your internship. I think the top two are communication skills. Communication skills are needed in every position. So not being afraid to ask questions when you're not sure, raising your hand and saying, hey, I've got a great idea. All of those kinds of things make you a great employee, not just a great intern. And then the second one is curiosity. So it kind of ties in, I think, with work ethic. If you're curious and you want to know things and you have a real drive for what you're doing, even if what you're doing today is making phone calls to survey customers, think about the next thing. What are you doing with that information? Is there something I can do to help with you with the next step? So really dig in and show that you have a desire to learn and to do more, and you'll be given those opportunities more than likely.
When it comes to essential skills for the workplace, I have the 3 P's. It's professionalism, passion, and proactiveness. So when looking for good intern candidates, those are some of the things that I look for, is just that the student comes in with a professional attitude, that they have a passion for the industry or career that they're working in, and that they're proactive. So they don't only just do the tasks that are assigned them, but they're enthusiastic and they ask, what else can I do to help? Or they go above and beyond.
Another skill I would say is excellent writing skills. We do a lot of writing here, and so you need to learn you need to know how to write appropriately. Also good communication skills, and what I mean by that is I recently got an email from someone and they used the word peeps in the email to me, and I immediately knew that must have been a younger person or an intern, and that's certainly not the way we communicate in the business world. So make sure that they know you know how to communicate effectively and correctly in your environment. When you're sitting in the cafeteria, you can call your friends peeps, but when you're writing a business communication, that's certainly something that you don't want to have.
I feel the biggest skill that an intern can bring is timeliness. Timeliness and going back with organization. Those two things are going to go a long way. And lastly, being able to take responsibility for your actions. If you've made a decision or if you have something that you're responsible for, then take responsibility for it.
To review, successful interns have strong communication skills and aren't afraid to ask questions. They take initiative and show a strong desire and willingness to learn. They are professional in how they act and dress, exhibit superior writing skills, respect their employer by being timely, and take responsibility for their actions. Now let's hear advice on how to make a strong first impression.
To make a strong first impression, I would dress very professionally, to smile, be friendly, let your personality show through. Others are going to be coming to meet you on your first day, and being prompt, I think, is very important as well.
Punctuality. I think organizations are fairly flexible, at least the size of organization that I'm in is fairly flexible organization as time goes on. But think of you in your role, you're being relied upon to be available at certain times of the day. So punctuality is so important, and again, it shows that level of professionalism. So that's probably the best way to make a first impression, because that is your first impression if you're on time or if you're not. And then I think, again, it's just coming in with a positive attitude.
First impressions are important, and you only get one chance. Being on time and arriving with a smile and positive attitude will go a long way. Now that you know how to make a strong first impression, let's learn how to stay in a positive light. The following are things not to do, the most common mistakes made by student interns.
Some of the most common mistakes that I've seen made by college interns revolve around professionalism, etiquette, and their commitment to the position. So one of the biggest things is etiquette. So office etiquette is something that you have to learn, but it teaches you what's appropriate to talk about in the office and what's not. Also, I see a lot of students that are connected to their digital devices. When it's time to work, you have to take a break from those devices. So just again, being professional and having that etiquette around that. And then also your commitment to the job. So a lot of times before a student has had an internship, they may have worked at a part-time job where it's okay to take a day off here or call in sick. Might not think twice about it, but when you have an internship, you should really show your commitment by showing up as often as possible and only calling in when it's absolutely necessary.
I think that a lot of college-age interns don't zone in on that communication piece as much as they should. So a lot of times they're afraid to ask questions, or they're afraid to look stupid maybe, or that they don't know enough. When you're an intern, that's the real time that you can be asking those questions, because you have people all around you who know the answers, or at least will find you the answer if they don't know. And so I think a lot of interns will sit back maybe and not take the initiative to go ask a resource for them that's there. And so I think that way that college students could really benefit from an experience and overcome that mistake is going and asking that question first, and then taking the initiative to use the information that was given to you in order to really make that experience beneficial and a learning one.
To review, it is important to learn about and respect office etiquette. Make sure the things you talk about with your colleagues are appropriate. Next, stay off your personal digital devices during work hours. You'll also need to remain professional while at work. This includes how you dress, how you communicate, and how seriously you take your work. Be sure to show your commitment to the position. Employers do not look favorably on those who frequently call in, show up late, or stop coming altogether. Remember, your employer is a potential reference and contact for future positions and has invested a lot of their personal time and energy by having you as an intern. Finally, ask questions and take initiative. The internship is a learning experience that is yours to own. Personal technology use has been a big complaint amongst employers. Let's learn what they feel is and isn't appropriate within the workplace.
So some of the jobs you might have, well, every job almost now involves computers and technology, but that doesn't mean that that gives you an open right to be on Facebook or to be looking at your mobile phone all day. In fact, that's one of the things that employers are really going to look at, is that you have respect for your work time and that you have that digital etiquette around when to use your devices and also when to be on your personal social media versus using it for work. So what I always tell students is just to avoid it at all costs possible when you first start your internship. And then you'll get a feel for the company, and if they allow you to take some breaks to check your personal email or your Facebook, but never have your cell phone out and be texting during an internship. That shows that you're not genuinely focused, and it can actually take your focus away from the task at hand and make it so that you can't do the best job possible.
To wrap up, let's hear advice on making the most of an internship experience.
To make the most of the internship experience, number one, of all the Simpson interns we've had, they've all done an excellent job because they come prepared, they come motivated to learn, they come early, they leave a little late, they put in the time, they ask questions, and you can tell that they go home and they research a little bit, and they do their homework. They don't just show up, put in the hours, and go home. So to make the most of it, you just really have to push yourself to learn, ask therapists questions about the human body and about patients, and basically dive into it to make the most of it.
Also, I would just make sure that you take the time to network and get to meet as many people as you can. Take the opportunity to introduce yourself to those other people in the company, especially maybe your senior staff or strategic leaders around the company as well. And then, I don't think there's anything wrong with going on and making those connections on LinkedIn and such, so you have those when you leave the company, you still have those connections in place.
I think the main thing to keep in mind when you're in your internship experience is that if you plan on going into that field, relationships are incredibly important. And the relationships that you make in your internship can lead to employment, or somewhere down the road you may run into that person. The only thing that you have in this business is your reputation, and so you have to make sure that you continue to have the best reputation possible, and that you present yourself in the field in the best possible way.
I suggest really getting involved and engaged. So I know that you only need 120 hours for your internship, but what can you do to volunteer? How can you get engaged and really dig into that 40-hour week and get a feel of what we do and what your experiences will be, especially in my position where we're working with older adults or employees. How can you get to know them? We have a lot of residents that will come to basketball games or different events to go to Des Moines Metro Opera. So how can you get involved with them and join them in those experiences and really get involved in the village? That will truly get you engaged and get a feel of what you want to do with your career.
In order to make the most of your experience at an internship or at a job, really it comes down to you putting in, you getting out what you put into the experience. Some students, if you're not willing to really go all in, give 100%, give 110% when you're there, you're not going to get out of it what maybe you hoped. You could be provided this great opportunity, but then if you don't take the time to ask questions, to really dig in, to learn everything you can from the experience, it's really not going to be a very beneficial experience for you.
To review, you should arrive on your internship site motivated and ready to learn. Be sure to arrive on time each day and do not hesitate to ask questions when you have them. Go above and beyond your required duties by doing outside research and work in areas that interest you. Take the opportunity to network and foster strong relationships with your colleagues. If possible, volunteer for outside events with which your internship site takes part. As a general rule, you'll get out of your internship what you put in. An internship is an excellent bridge between your academic studies and the world of work. Take it seriously and make the most of each minute you have on site. The Simpson College community trusts that you'll represent us with pride. If you would like to further discuss the topics in this video, please email or call the Career Services office. Enjoy your invaluable internship experience.